Thank you for visiting ChristopherMedia.net.
Se siente bien saber que cuando le pones sirope a tu Big Breakfast with Hot Cakes de McDonald's, tú controlas dónde cae. Verlo acercarse a tu biscuit y rodear tu salchicha calientita, y luego llegar a tus hash browns, y finalmente a tus huevos revueltos, dándoles el sabor dulce del maple, exactamente como te gusta. Que fluya el sirope. Para pa pa pa.
There's a new Home Depot now open on Maurice Avenue in Maspeth. And as home improvement projects go, this is a big one. Use the product locator on our app for an in-store map to find what you need fast. And check out our new pickup lockers. They make online shopping a breeze. Of course, one thing's not new, our everyday low prices. The Home Depot, now open near Maurice Avenue and Long Island Expressway in Maspeth. And always open at HomeDepot.com. The Home Depot, how doers get more done.
Christopher Media, let's make some noise. Welcome to Beer Nuts, a weekly excursion into the world of craft beer, brought to you by MichiganBeerGuide.com. And now, here are the Beer Nuts.
Welcome to Beer Nuts, episode 182. We're going to do some celebration of stout season tonight. A couple really good stouts. 3 Beer Nuts on the show this week. So welcome back, Ross from Durham, North Carolina.
Yeah, nice to be back.
And we have Greg from Dearborn, Michigan.
Howdy, everybody.
And JR here. So we are going to get into some really good stouts in just a minute. But first we're going to review our Untapped check-ins, our last check-in. I'll start, JR, here in just outside of Tucson, Arizona, in the lovely municipality of Corona de Tucson. And my last Untapped check-in was Monday night. I checked into a beer called The Biggest Kush, C-U-S-H, from Kushwa Brewing Company. It was a triple New England IPA. It was fantastic. I gave it a 4.3. I believe Kushwa Brewing Company is in New York. But it was a lovely beer, so I enjoyed it. So how about you, Ross?
My last check-in was still the same thing I checked in last week, because I didn't check in anything in the past week. But it was a Ladyfingers from Commonwealth Brewing Company, and Imperial Stout that had that nice little candy kind of adjunct to it. So it was a good thing left over from Halloween. It was good.
Awesome. And how about you, Greg?
My last one Untapped check-in was from Coonan Brewing Company out of Warren, Michigan. It was their 2016 Raspberry Eisbach. Beautiful raspberry, easy drinker for 15.5%, and little chocolate notes as well to it. So it was a very delicious beer.
Oh boy, it makes me jealous. I sure miss being close to Coonan. And Ross has a nice affection for Coonan too. A great brewery. Looking forward to, I think at some point we're going to have the Coonan brothers as our guests. And have an episode, so look for that coming soon. I do, before I invite everybody to join us for a beer, full disclosure, the Kushwa Brewing Company is from Williamsport, Maryland, so not New York, so sorry, apologies to everybody in Maryland. The triple IPA I talked about is from the state of Maryland. So let's get right into things, and before we do so, as always, we want to invite everybody to join us in a beer. Hopefully you have a nice stout to enjoy with us, but if not, anything's fine. We're not pretentious beer snobs. Whatever you like is just fine with us. We just want to introduce more good people to more good beer. So that being said, I think we got 3 thirsty beer nuts here. Ross, you got a big bomber there. We might as well let you go first.
Okay, go ahead. So what I've got is Gates of Smordor from Westbrook Brewing. Mount Pleasant, South Carolina. I'm sure they're famous for Mexican cake for the most part, is the one that sees the most distribution, I guess. But this is a nice bottle that got a little bit of distribution earlier this year. It is the flavor text from the website is: the gates of Smordor have opened and are about to unleash a horde of molten marshmallow and chocolate upon the land. This s'mores-inspired Imperial Stout is brewed with marshmallows, cocoa nibs, cinnamon, and graham crackers. So it's an 11% stout, and it's just one of their, I guess it's Oh my goodness, that is chocolate and sweet. So it is. It is very brown to not quite opaque, but it is certainly very, very brown black in color. And the smell is amazing. Oh my gosh! So it's sweet right off the bat. This is definitely should have been like a share for dessert kind of thing, but you're getting the marshmallows right away. A little bit of the cracker, the cinnamon there, a little bit of vanilla. Oh my goodness, yeah. This smells like you had a s'more stuck right up under your nose. So they nailed it on the smell, that's for sure.
Nice.
Not much head at all, just very light lacing. They nailed it on the taste as well. So this thing, there's chocolate right there. There's a little bit of vanilla right there. The cinnamon's given it, I guess, it's a little bit of heat from the cinnamon. There's a little bit there as it went down. Not boozy heat, but kind of like the cinnamon, I guess. Yeah, so this is almost, I have to say, it's almost not beer. This is drinking. This is having dessert, having liquid dessert. So they nailed the s'more experience. The smell and the taste just go hand in hand. Everything is right there. It's got nice smooth on the way down. Yeah, the body is just really nice. It's exactly what you want for the taste and the smell that you're getting. The feel in your mouth is wonderful. This is just silky smooth going down. Oh yeah. So I wish I had other people to share this. This was a bottle I had bought, thinking, hey, at some point, I'll be able to share it with a couple of people. But like most of us, I'm in the mode of starting to drink down some of this stuff. And I'm glad I did. I will be sipping on this for the rest of the evening. We'll see how it changes a little bit. Let it warm up here. But right now, this has all the smells that you're looking for that they advertised. It has the marshmallows. It has the graham cracker smell. It's got the chocolate there. Yeah, it's and the taste just follows all of it. It's sweet. You just get the s'more taste. Yeah, this is really good. I like it. So I'll be nursing the rest of this bottle to enjoy it.
That's awesome. We'll check in with you later after the other Beer Nuts review, because I know that it may only get better as it warms. Sounds just fantastic, and not only was that a good review, but I could hear the voice inflections, how good it tastes.
Yeah, this is definitely dessert in a bottle here, so it might not be for everybody. I'm not saying it's overly sweet, but it's definitely very desserty. Yeah.
Well, certainly made me jealous, so enjoy it. I wish I could share it with you. All right, let's move on to Greg for the next one. Mine's still too cold. I'm trying to warm it up in my hands, so I'm going to let you go next, Greg. Greg, you with us?
I don't see him on the list.
Did he fall off? All right. Well, Chris, you're going to have to edit on this one. Let me see what Delio is. I see him on the list. It does say 3 of 4 in the call, though.
Yeah, that's what I meant. Yeah, he just said he doesn't hear anybody. We don't see him in the Skype call, though. I only see me, you, and Chris in the Skype call.
You must be having an internet outage or something.
Do we re-invite him to the call?
I don't think we have to. I just clicked on his phone icon and it says calling Greg Schmidt, and he's not answering that.
Oh, he's typing. Well, he was typing. Yeah, I've decided I'm going to start hitting up some of my bottles that I was saving for shares.
I was going to do a drink down the cellar episode instead of this, but I think we'll do that for Thanksgiving or something.
It's just that it's clear that we're going to have, for better or worse, no matter what you want to think about politics. So when Biden comes in, there's going to be a federally mandated lockdown, right? So they're gonna do the COVID stuff the way the other countries did it, which is to have a more significant lockdown. And I think we're a long, long way away from having gatherings.
Well, I hope that's not true, but I guess we'll roll with whatever happens.
So that's why knowing that, my decision is.
Well, in a way, if you won't be able to go out a lot, maybe you should hoard what you have and stock up more. I know I probably have at least. I could probably not buy anything for a year and still have plenty of.
Well, it's just last week's episode having that sunny side up, and it was probably too old. It made me realize there's some stuff that I've got to go ahead and have.
I don't know what to do about this because he dropped off, and I don't know how we could do this with just two people. Okay. I guess maybe I can just go to get mine out of the way. Or should we wait till he's on and then just tell Chris he's going to have to edit this space? I guess I'll give him a minute.
He's going to restart his device. Yeah, let's give him that shot.
I saw that. Nope. Give me more time to warm mine up. I haven't even taken a sip yet. It's so cold. But
yeah, I had set my bottle out about 20 minutes ago. Well, 10 minutes before we started, I guess.
Wow, that's pretty good too. I was just put out.
I got candy, man. Oh my!
I was just going to pick something at room temperature, honestly. And I was like, well, let's see what I have cold, and I found these two. I meant to go usually around noon every day. I go to pick something out of my cellar for the show, and today I was just nonstop from 6:30 this morning until I had to go get my son, at golf. I had to leave about 5:30 to pick him up.
I was like, maybe I should take an extra metformin drink in this thing.
There he is. He's back.
I'm back.
All right.
Holy smokes.
Note to Chris, you're going to have to edit out some of this dead time, but Greg, your beer is next.
Well, all right. Glad to be back, guys. All right, so my stout tonight is from Deciduous Brewing Company out of Newmarket, New Hampshire. I picked this up in a trade with a friend that I've traded on a regular basis. This is called The Bond, which is a collab with North Country Hard Cider. This beer is a co-fermented stout and cider. So I guess take that as an apple cider with or hard cider with pomegranate, cinnamon, and habanero peppers. Comes in 6%, 12-ounce can. And yeah, excited to try this one. So poured it in my glass here, and unlike a traditional stout, which is pitch black, chocolate. This is more like a cola. It's got like a little brown hue to it. Still can't really see through it, but has a nice a little swampy, murky brown to it, which I take that as the apple cider. So first nose, picking up a lot of the apple cider, cinnamon right off the nose. This beer was released about a month ago, so fall time. That's what I associate this with now. Right now is just a lot of fall-esque, stout beers, whatever. So very delicious smell. So first sip. More of that apple cider. Like a dark, roasty bitterness to it. Can't really say I'm getting a lot of the pomegranate. It could be there, but definitely the cinnamon, the apple cider, the stout characteristics. I would really like to get more of the habanero pepper for like a bit of a heat, but it's supposedly there, but I'm not getting a lot of heat. But overall, a very interesting beer for a stout. Kudos to Deciduous and North Country. I really am enjoying this, but I think a little bit more habanero pepper on the flavor would be outstanding on this. So, but definitely check out anything Deciduous makes. They are certainly one of the finer beer makers of New England or the Northeast, from what I've experienced. So, there you go.
Another good one.
Sounds good.
And it was a little bit different there with the cider and stuff.
Yeah, I mean, that's certainly something I've never really had before. So, kudos for trying something different.
Amen. All right. Hoping maybe we might get a surprise appearance by John Hill. He just texted us. I'll see if he's able to join us. But in the meantime, I'm thirsty, and I'm going to introduce my stout. So we kind of had a little bit of a debate on how to pronounce this, but I've been told it would be Icarus Brewing. This is the AK-47 Russian Imperial Stout with coconut, macadamia nuts, and coffee. 12-ounce can, clocking in at 14.5% alcohol. So, brewed in Lakewood, New Jersey, Icarus Brewing. I started out calling it Icarus, but I was outvoted that it should be Icarus. So, Russian Imperial Stout brewed with Guatemalan coffee beans, toasted coconut, roasted macadamia nuts, and clover honey. Let's give this thing a whirl. I poured it about 10 minutes ago. It was too cold. I've been warming it in my hand, and it's brewing. I only took one sip of this so far. It pours a jet black, as you would expect. It's got that nice, this is actually particularly more brown than white, a nice light brown head on it. On the aroma, I actually can taste, or I can smell some booze, some bourbon. I'm not getting much else other than a little bit of booziness. And at 14.5%, probably not surprised. So I'm taking a sip, and oh boy, that's good. It's almost hard to pick the individual flavors because it all comes together as one. But let me dissect this a little more with another sip. So it starts out with a nice bitter, roasty, stout flavor, and then little by little, I can taste a little bit of the macadamia nut. It's a nutty flavor follows the roasty stout, and then the coconut comes about third in there. And the aftertaste, if you just let everything kind of mellow out for 10 seconds or so, it just melds into one big continuous flavor that, I always liken it to a concert, when you have all these good flavors coming together. This is delicious. It's the booziness is there, but it's not overpowering. It's not like a ridiculously boozy. It doesn't intimidate you in any way. It's not alcohol burn, so to speak. It's mellow, enjoyable, flavorful. It's a beer you can chew. It's not overly full mouthfeel, but medium to full. Really hard to find a flaw in this thing. Gosh, this is delicious. Getting a little bittersweet chocolate now. It's part of that roasty stout at the beginning, kind of emerging more as it warms. And I would say the one thing maybe I was looking for a little bit more, which this is pretty common, is the toasted coconut. It's pretty subtle. But yeah, delicious beer. Well done, Icarus Brewing, Lakewood, New Jersey.
ChristopherMedia.net.
Si tú y tus amigos ordenan de McDonald's juntos, deja que los demás agarren su comida primero. Yo sé, el solo pensar en el olor de las papitas y tener que esperar para meter tu mano en la caja y sacar unas suena loco. Pero por regla, si eres la última persona que sostiene la bolsa, entonces las papitas que se cayeron al fondo de la bolsa son tuyas. La paciencia paga, amigos. Para pa pa pa.
Are you ready?
To find solutions.
Ready.
For new opportunity.
Ready.
To take charge of the future. St. Joseph's College in Brooklyn offers a safe, flexible, and affordable education so you can be ready for what's next. And we make it easy to transfer, so you can stay on course to complete your degree. Attend an upcoming virtual transfer and adult enrollment day to see how. Register at sjcny.edu/BK transfer events.
Are you ready?
St. Joseph's College.
Ready?
Set.
Joe's.
Se siente bien saber que cuando le pones sirope a tu Big Breakfast with Hotcakes de McDonald's, tú controlas dónde cae. Verlo acercarse a tu biscuit y rodear tu salchicha calientita, y luego llegar a tus hash browns, y finalmente a tus huevos revueltos, dándoles el sabor dulce del maple, exactamente como te gusta. Que fluya el sirope. Para pa pa pa.
ChristopherMedia.net.
All right. So anybody have any beer news? Ross, you posted that Eric might be able to make it. I don't see a message. Is that on the Facebook page?
It's in the event. Yeah, it's not.
Okay. Yeah.
You might want to pin you.
I'll see if I can add him to the call. There he is. Okay. In the meantime, anybody have anything at all beer news to talk about? I think we already talked about the Shorts cannabis beer, right? Or, what was it, cannabis gummies they're going to make that are craft?
Yeah, edibles. Yeah, I think that's what you said.
So,
I don't know. Or anything.
Yeah, since last week I haven't seen much.
So well, how about any other stouts, even if we're not going to drink anymore? Any more you want to talk about? Some local... we got Bourbon County Stout coming up. I know part of the Evil Empire, but still well sought after and tasty products.
I will say
in the lineup.
I actually had a 2016 the other day. It was one that I had acquired at some point in the past and was just sitting around, obviously. And again, as I explained to John earlier, I've been going through some things that I would normally save for a share or whatever, but that was just I don't necessarily go buy bourbon counties, but if somebody's going to give me one for some reason, then I'll take it. And so I did have one the other night. I had a nice 2016. It held, it was still really good, despite who they're owned by.
Agree, and that was a debate I had when I used to teach in the class at Schoolcraft. I always asked everybody, if the product's good, do you care about that? Or were you like, they're dead to me, I'm never going to order from them? And it was kind of a different mix of answers to that. But I did confess to the class that I was pretty much boycotting everything in the AB craft portfolio at that time when they were being kind of aggressive and hostile to craft beer. But I said the one exception I make is Bourbon County Stout because I love it that much. So at least I was honest with everybody. And this Black Friday, I'll be visiting my dad in Louisiana. So I don't even know if I'll be able to, go on the hunt this year. Probably not. So, but as Ross said, I got at least a year's supply of stuff to drink down out of the cellar, and some of it's getting kind of old. So maybe it's all things happen for a reason. Maybe this is the year that I just kind of stay out of the hunt and not worry about it.
Yeah, I've just been looking at the number of bombers that I have that are, ones or maybe sometimes ones and twos of that I was saving for caking to a share or something, right? And that's just not going to happen anytime soon. And so it's time to start drinking them.
Amen.
Drink them up, and I want to at least try to find out the variants this year. See if I can pull that up, since we kind of have a short episode tonight with only 3. We had 2 other beer nuts I was hopeful that were going to join, but it's not looking good now. I thought, Russ, didn't John Hill post that he was going to join?
That's what I thought I saw. Said he was home. Yeah.
Yeah, so
Well, maybe he just needs some time to, he just got home. We'll give him a little bit more time. We'll talk a little bit about I'm going to see if I can find the article. I saw it the other day. The Bourbon County Stout lineup.
yeah, but it was faint to zoom in and couldn't really see the labels too well. But
Oh, I got something here, so let me see what we got here. I also think they're having some different way of doing it this year because they don't want people waiting in line. I'm on their website now, but I have to type in my birth date.
you have
Okay, here we go.
Kentucky one.
So we have the original Bourbon County Stout. This year's Bourbon County Stout is aged in a mix of bourbon barrels from whiskey distilleries like Buffalo Trace, Heaven Hill, and Wild Turkey. ROH for a year. Bourbon County Kentucky Fog Stout. We're excited to debut our first ever tea-inspired variant. We added Earl Grey tea, black tea from Kilogram Tea, as well as clover honey from the Honey House to make a Bourbon County Stout variant with a complexity like none before. Tasting notes: black licorice, white pepper, citrus, florals, graham cracker. Doesn't sound that great to me, but I did read an article, a review, I think it was in the Chicago Tribune, that actually picked that as the #1 variant. So reserve judgment until if you ever get a chance to try it. And who knows? Maybe the reviewer could be off, or it could be a unbelievable surprise. Bourbon County Special No. 4 Stout is an oatmeal stout variant of our original recipe, also aged in bourbon barrels. It uses crystal oats to add a nutty character as well as a smooth mouthfeel. After barrel aging, we add Intelligentsia coffee, both their cold coffee and single origin coffee beans from Ethiopia, bringing out a pleasant fruit coffee character. Lastly, bourbon barrel aged maple syrup from Bissell Maple Farm in Ohio is added. That sounds pretty good if the maple comes through. The next one is Bourbon County Caramella Ale. Caramella, or candy in Italian, is a wheat wine aged in larceny wheated bourbon barrels with apple, cinnamon, and natural caramel flavor. I'm not going to read the rest of it. Proprietor's Bourbon County Stout, which, unless you live in the Chicago area or know somebody that hooks you up from the Chicago area, you'll probably never get to taste. It's a Spumania-inspired stout blended with fresh pistachios, cocoa nibs, candied cherries, and natural vanilla flavors. And this is my favorite here, Birthday Bourbon County Stout. We partner with the Old Forester brand and paired Bourbon County Stout with barrels from one of the world's most sought-after bourbons, Old Forester Birthday Bourbon. Certainly, it's somebody that enjoys good bourbon. I'd love to try that. I don't know how rare it's going to be. I guess we'll find out. And then there's Anniversary Bourbon County Stout, aged 2 years in Weller 12-year barrels, and is a special variant this year to celebrate Goose Island's 10-year tradition of releasing Bourbon County Stout on Black Friday. Everybody knows Weller is a sought-after, blah, 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 overhyped whiskey, in my opinion, but fanboys like it. There you go. That's the lineup for this year.
Sounds delicious.
Let's give Eric cannot make it. Let me see if John Hill, I guess, Russ, you invited him, and we're getting not much response.
I can't invite him to the chat. You're the only one who can invite him.
Oh, to the chat?
Oh, never mind. I thought you were talking about Eric. Never mind. Yeah.
Oh, no. John is on the chat, but he's not responding to. So, I don't know. Anybody else have anything to bring up? Or that's funny. Who was I talking to? I was talking to my buddy Kevin Walters and told him about the podcast and that we were doing a Stout episode. He goes, "Oh, you can't do a Stout season episode without talking about Guinness." I said, "Yeah, we can. We talk Guinness on St. Patrick's Day." Nothing against Guinness. I have a lot of respect for Guinness. I won a trip to Ireland from Guinness. I sold it. I love to drink it. It's it's actually a pretty low ABV, and fairly healthy option if you look at drinking beers, which a lot of people have a misconception. But we'll review that probably on St. Patrick's Day. That's really when a more appropriate time. Now, one other thing I can talk about is I'm sitting in here in front of, I think, 4 or 5 different varieties of the Black is Beautiful Stout, which Weathered Souls out of Texas started, I guess, challenged other breweries to join them as part of the, striving to for racial equality and tolerance. And so Black is Beautiful. All of them have the same label, which Weathered Souls started out with. And actually, one of the cans I have here is the original Weathered Souls version, which is pretty cool because not many people get that. So there, I think, with like 1,200 breweries around the country that made variants. I'm not sure how many hundred, but so I have one here from Gun Hill Brewery in Bronx, New York. I think this is the original. Oh, no, this is Alamo Beer Company from San Antonio. Let's see, what's this one? This one is Wren House Brewing from Phoenix. I've got one from Pueblo Vita in Tucson, which was a black IPA. The other ones have all been stouts. And I do have the original Weathered Soul ones. I think I have 3 or 4 others. Spring Hill from Pennsylvania. So, through trading partners and so forth, I've accumulated these, and I think I've only drank one of these, Black is Beautiful. So we could probably do an episode on that.
I've had 3 of my local ones. There was a peanut butter stout, and a chai stout, and just a coffee stout, I guess, that came in. Probably the coffee was my favorite of those. But
say chive?
Chai.
Oh, chai. I was like, what the chive? Holy smoke!
Yeah, that would be interesting.
Yeah, a little oniony.
Didn't Dragon's Milk had a vanilla chai a few years ago?
Yeah, they just came out with a newer version of that too.
Oh, okay.
It was good.
Well, that's one thing I miss because living in Michigan, we always got all the variants, and down here, I'm lucky if I even see the regular or Dragon's Milk. So, kind of missing out on that.
But you like the lemon raspberry one, right?
Did you see John just posted, so he's not going to make it either. Sorry, wrong group. So, all right. Well, I guess that pretty much wraps us up. I think what we will do is go around the horn one more time and have everyone describe any changes that may have occurred as their beverages warmed. So we'll start with you, Ross. I know you said you had already taken it out, so it might not have changed much. It was already somewhat.
No, it's getting close to the point where I would say I definitely need to share this because it's getting to the point where it might be too sweet as it warmed up.
22 ounces.
Yeah, I'm on the last 6 or 7 ounces to be sure, but it's definitely a bottle that I would have liked to have, like maybe 3 people would have been about right for it.
Oh, you got 3 here. It's too bad I couldn't pick them up. Scott.
And it could have serviced it could have made it maybe up to 6, but yeah, it's everything it was at the beginning, and it's just a little bit more. All the smell is still there, and all the taste is still there. Everything is it is s'mores. It is a s'more beer, that's for sure. And I reiterate, this goes down perfect as like after dinner desserty beer.
Well, it sounds fantastic, and I have seen pictures of it online, and I was like, boy, that would be a great one to try someday. But hopefully we get through this COVID crisis. We can all congregate again somewhere.
Like I said, we get a little bit of distro of it now, so I can get a bottle or 2 at a time. So without having to try to make some trek down to Mount Pleasant. So I can hopefully maybe I'll get you some at some point.
Well, and I think you might. How are we looking for Bond Brothers?
Like he said, he's going to wait until we get a little bit closer to the date and then send out what he's got at that point. So,
well, for our listeners, a little sneak preview. We will be doing a Bond Brothers episode. We're very much looking forward to that.
And I have a couple goodies that he may or may not be able to send out that I'm going to send out anyway, just because I know that you'll enjoy them. I have the one that was aged in 3 different barrels over a couple of years. I have a couple extra of those, and I'll make sure you get one of those for sure.
Awesome. Just hold the peanut butter beers if there are any. I did get in a box of peanut butter beer the other day, and I'm like, I wonder who I'm going to give this to.
So Prairie did something peanut butter this year, right? So
that might have been the one I got. Matter of fact, it's right here. It is barrel-aged peanut butter bomb.
Yeah, that's what I thought, yeah.
So,
boom.
With all due respect to the gentleman that sent it to me, he didn't know, and somebody that I send the box to is going to get a bonus of that in it. You guys will share it with somebody who will enjoy it. Just my personal preference, not being a snob. But no secret to anybody that's listening to the show. Peanut butter beers are just not my thing. Greg, how's your beverage holding up?
Well, 2 things changed. I picked up a little bit more habanero, just a smidgen amount. And second, it's all gone. I finished it. My goodness, my glass is empty. But it was a really tasty 6% blended stout there. I really enjoyed this one. So I have a second can downstairs in my basement. I look forward to trying that, or enjoying it again, I should say.
Awesome. Good stuff. So I'm about halfway through my glass. It has warmed considerably since I last tasted it. Take a quick sip and let you know. So the first thing I notice is that bittersweet chocolate, roastiness has mellowed considerably as it warmed. I'm not getting that bittersweet chocolate. It's more like milk chocolate or just a more milder, sweeter version of the roastiness. I still get a little bit of nuts, and the coconut is emerging more. There was hardly any coconut before, but this one, it's more prevalent now, and actually the coconut that I am detecting stays with the finish, whereas before it was like here today, gone tomorrow. So, but as we know, beers like this, as they warm, the flavors become more pronounced and frankly more enjoyable. And it's no secret that cold numbs the taste buds. So keep that in mind when you're going to serve or enjoy a good stout. Do it roasted and take it out before the show. I had a kind of a crazy work day and didn't have time to do that, and that's why mine was a little bit too cold the first time I tasted it, but it's certainly warming up nicely, and it's a fantastic beer. I have to look for more stuff from this Icarus Brewing in Lakewood. So, all right, cheers, everybody.
So I was going to say, so as long as we're talking about stouts, I go back to my favorite local stout producer, which is Southern Pines, of course. And I always refer back to, as far as the changing temperature of a beer, their German chocolate cake is like my standard for what happens to a beer. Because when it's on the colder end, the flavors are like one after the other right in a row. It's like bam, 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 right? You're going through everything that went into it, just one after the other. And as it warms up, it's just slowly melds together, and you're getting more of that combined taste. And that was the first one for me where I really noticed, just across the spectrum of about 20 degrees, just how different an experience having that beer is. And it helped me notice it more in other beers as I went on. But that one is really a spectacular, and it's good both ways, right? So it's really good across the whole spectrum. It's just a very different experience. So I always like to bring that up when I talk about temperature changes.
Well, that was just a nice memory bringing up that German chocolate cake stout, because I remembered you sent me a crowler that I think I might have reviewed it on one of our shows, but I do remember enjoying it immensely. I think you got it on tap at Beer Study, wasn't it?
Probably. Yeah.
All right. Well, it's a pretty short show tonight. Too bad we didn't have a few more of our Beer Nut regulars on, but the beers that we did enjoy were very a nice variety for starters, and somewhat, Westbrook's a little bit more well known than these other two breweries, but great stuff, man, great stuff, and we're usually doing about every other week now, but for November I was going to try to do one every week. We'll see about what next week brings, but we will continue to focus on drinking down our cellars, which will probably be more and more dark beers. We may do a barrel-aged one or just a cellar aid next week. So stay tuned for future enjoyment. And with that being said, it's time to go to Mexico. So as they say in old Mexico City,
Si tú y tus amigos ordenan de McDonald's juntos, deja que los demás agarren su comida primero. Yo sé, el solo pensar en el olor de las papitas y tener que esperar para meter tu mano en la caja y sacar unas suena loco. Pero por regla, si eres la última persona que sostiene la bolsa, entonces las papitas que se cayeron al fondo de la bolsa son tuyas. La paciencia paga, amigos. Para pa pa pa.
This podcast is brought to you by Ragu Old World Style Traditional Sauce. A great sauce starts with the best ingredients. Ragu Old World Style Traditional Sauce is that great sauce. Inspired by our founder's original recipe, Ragu Old World Style Traditional Sauce is made with delicious ingredients, including vine-ripened tomatoes, chopped onions, garlic, and olive oil, simmered together for the authentic taste you and your family will want to come back to. For recipes, sauces, and mealtime inspiration, visit ragu.com.
Thank you for visiting ChristopherMedia.net.